Welcome to Hindustan Times Digital. My name is Aditya, and in this video we are going to look at the OPPO A31 and its camera features. This phone has triple AI powered rear cameras and a single 8 megapixel front camera which is housed in the water drop notch. It also has a lot of AI centric features that we are going to look into and see what's so special about them. So let's get started. So as we've already mentioned, the OPPO A31 has a triple rear camera setup in the vertical format. As you can see, these are the primary sensors. This is the 12 megapixel primary sensor. Then you have the 2 megapixel and another 2 megapixel sensor. Then you have this LED flash over here. This is the camera setup at the back of the A31, and then you have this 8 megapixel front camera which is there on the water drop notch, as you can see. Now let's deep dive into the camera interface of this phone. It looks quite user friendly. I mean, you can clearly read through what you're looking for, and you have the photo, you have the video option, and then you have the portrait option. So now let's look at what features do we get with the regular photo mode. So now if you tap over here, you'll see different options. So you have a pano option, which is basically the panorama mode. You have this expert option, which primarily means that you have this pro mode setup wherein you can manually set up white balance, you can manually set up exposure levels, you can manually set up the autofocus, and then you can also set up different kind of options that you need. Basically, what it lets you do is that you want to decide if the conditions are favorable for a low light photography, so you can manually define it and you can use it. This way what you do is you are experimenting with the lights and effects that this camera offers and trying to see what its true capabilities are. In addition to this, you have this video feature over here which also lets you take in different options. You have different filters that you can add even for videos. That's pretty cool. And then you have this different settings that you can go. So you have a video resolution option over here letting you click in 1080p resolution and HD resolution, which is 720p. So this is what the A31's rear camera gives you, and there's versatility in terms of portrait as well. So portrait mode is something which is quite popular with a lot of people now, and this is also something which you can also use and try out with the versatile setup of cameras that you get at the back. You also have this feature mode that when you tap on this, you get to see a lot of other options, and the HDR mode is already active. So these are what you get with the rear camera. Now switched on to the front camera, the 8 megapixel camera of the A31. This is basically again pretty much giving you the regular stuff that you look for. You can set the light levels that you want depending on the kind of lightings that you have in front of you or around you. And then you have the HDR mode also, which is available, so you can switch it in between off, on, or auto depending on what you prefer. And then you can also turn off the flash if you want by tapping on this. In addition to that, if you go over here, you'll also see a few other options that you can click. This is the portrait mode and the video mode. So the front camera is letting you do video calling as well, which is quite essential nowadays, because if people on the go want to take essential work calls or personal calls, they can do that using this phone's front camera. And apart from that, you have this portrait mode, which is kind of like blurring out the background, right? So as you can see over here, the frame, the subject over here is clear, and the subject behind me is completely blurred out, and that's the effect that you get with the portrait mode. With its AI-powered triple rear camera, an 8 megapixel front camera that also has a lot of AI-centric features, the OPPO A31's camera setup gives you dynamism and versatility that you need and are essential for any phone these days and for users to cherish.